what's shown. If it was the will of the council to narrow a median or to do other things, we could consider that. Narrow the bike lane. We're showing pretty wide bike lanes under those design alternatives at 8 feet. It doesn't have to be an 8-foot bike lane. So, but all of that could be considered, discussed, and laid out during the design process.
And my last question is, in the past, years ago, there was some discussion about extending the bike lanes from Oak Park along Medea Creek through Morrison Ranch. And I know there was some discussion and sort of not happy about the possibility of putting a bike path of some sort behind the homes along Medea Creek. I didn't see that in these plans. Maybe I missed it.
We are proposing a Class 1 bike path along Medea Creek with this plan. Any coordination with Morrison would be, actually, if we could go to, Erica, if you could bring up the bike master plan map, we could take a look at this together. But at this moment, the draft plan does recommend the installation of a Class 1 facility along Medea Creek. I believe after our public input, it was identified as our 4th highest priority by the city stakeholders who attended those meetings.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Sure.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Sure, Madam Mayor. Thank you. Ms. Forte, thank you very much. And thank you for spending the time with me prior to this meeting, actually about a month ago, that you went over it with me, and I really appreciate you doing that. I learned a lot during that session. But one of the things I did want to ask you about on the prioritization is my favorite with the bike repair facilities and the bike parking and the shower facilities, things like that. So the end of road trips. And again, maybe I missed it, is I didn't see anything about the priority of those and where that would be. Because I guess my just question would be, I know these type of things are a little less expensive than redoing a road, which is $2 million or whatever it is. These are a lot less expensive and maybe something that we could do more immediate. So just wanted to ask you about that.
Absolutely. So the priority list does only describe the larger project-based segment designs and roadway classifications for the bike lanes. The end-of-trip facilities or conflict striping or intersection improvements are all described. There's guidance in the bicycle master plan for that. And if the city council determined that they wanted to advance the installation of the toolkit or of bike storage or of showers, we could and that was the will of the larger council as the next bike project, we could absolutely undertake that immediately. It wouldn't have to fall within any prioritization list.
Awesome. Thank you. That was my question. Again, this is fabulous, something I've been looking for a long time, so it's great. Thank you.
Thank you. Some of my questions were answered, but I do have one question about, first of all, whoever made these class definitions needs to know how to sort and order, because it would just be nice if it was all going in one direction, and class 1 could be great and class 4 could be, but they jump around, so it's very hard to wrap your head around. That being said, my question is about Councilmember Buckley Weber mentioned Reyes Adobe Road and how there was an existing Class 2 bike lane. So after it hits Lake Lindero Road, there's a fantastic sidewalk that Mr. Adeva and I worked on many years ago. Mm-hmm. And that to me seems like it is an existing, not proposed, but an existing Class 1 bike path, because it's completely separated from the street. And it's even separated, it's with the pedestrians. So I guess my question is, is this a proposed Class 1 bike path on the other side of the street, or is it existing? Because there's a great bike path already there.
You bring up a great point. It's shown here as proposed, but that should be shown as an existing Class 1 bike path above Reyes Adobe. And we can make that edit prior to bringing that document back for adoption.
Okay, great, wonderful. And then there's also a proposed Class 1 bike path. Is that Mainmast? Down right below that?
That's the lower half of Lake Lindero Drive.
Oh, right. No. Lake
Right?
Lindero
Oh, no.
Drive.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's the golf course.
Oh, it goes through the golf course. Is that what that is? It's not a street.
No.
Got it. I see. Right. And then it goes it connects past the lake. Okay. That is great. That was my only question that wasn't already answered. So with that, unless there are other questions, we can move to public comment. Written public comments were requested to be emailed in advance of tonight's meeting. If you wish to speak, please click the raise hand button on the Zoom toolbar now. Public testimony is limited to 3 minutes per speaker, and a speaker's time may not be transferred to another speaker. So I will defer to our city clerk to see if there are public comments.
Thank you, Mayor Lopez. No written public comments have been received and no speaker cards have been submitted. I'll now defer to staff for any remote participants.
Thank you, Mayor Lopez. No hands are raised to speak on this item.
Okay, great. Then staff is asking us to provide feedback on the final draft master plan. Is there anyone who would like to start us off? Councilmember Buckley Weber.
Thank you. Obviously, I'd like to see as many Class 4 bike lanes as possible. I'm excited about the Tier 1, the Medea Creek, although it's a lot of money. Let's go get it. And I think it's a great plan, and I think it's going to really benefit all of our residents, and hopefully we can get people out there riding, starting with the RAD ride that's coming up in a couple of weeks. I'm comfortable with moving forward in terms of that, we can change priorities, and I kind of like if we could come up with a different word, just so that a future council is not stuck with, well, hey, that's priority 3, not priority 1. And so I just think that makes sense. And other than that, I'm excited about the Teal Boulevard Class 2 to Class 4. And I think that you've done an excellent job, and hopefully when this is all done and in decades to go, we can bring in Westlake and Calabasas, and we can have an entire region. The COG does have a master plan, and so perhaps we can, make sure that we're feeding into all of that. So congratulations on the good job that you've done. I know it's been in the works for a long time. Thank you.
I second what Councilmember Buckley Weber says. I would just like to say also, for me, I would rather see the Ballard barricade buffers than landscape buffers, just because of all the drought issues that we're having and will have into the future. So I think it would be a more secure way to separate the road. If we have vegetation and it keeps dying, that's not a good thing. But otherwise, full speed ahead. Thank you very much.
Okay, Councilmember Weber.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I also applaud the efforts of the staff, and this has been going on for years and years and years, as Councilmember Buckley Weber and I have been down this beaten path a lot. But the only thing I will tell you, and I think I've mentioned this to Jessica in my conversation with her, is that there's the little buffer that she and I were talking about. I think it's like a little curb, my words. And I have a problem with that being part of it, only because I think cars are going to be running into it, going over it, and maybe causing accidents to not only them, but certainly the bicyclists that are in those lanes. So I'd prefer something more dramatic, I guess. And I like the separation for the bikes as well. So that's my input, and good luck. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Anstead.
I think I've given a lot of input earlier during the as the plan was being drafted. I really like it. I think it's great. I wish we had unlimited funds so we could do all these projects within the next couple years. But I know it's going to take a long time probably to implement a lot of these things. But I think it's great. Not only are we going to intersect the COG cities, but Ventura County as well. Linda Parks really pushed hard on the bike plans in Ventura County. There's all kinds of bicycle lanes on the roads in Ventura County that we can connect into, and I think this will be great to do that going forward. So I really look forward to us kind of having that, so we can have bicyclists all over Conejo Valley, basically connect and through Agoura. So I'm all for those. And like I said, though, I'm trying to get these smaller projects done first, if possible. Obviously, I would prefer that, but obviously we have to vote on that going forward. But I think it would be great if we could get some of the smaller things implemented. I think if we put in like the tool station next to the fire stations, it's a very easy thing to do. That's what was done in Ventura County, and it seems to work. People stop at the fire stations for water breaks when they're doing their 40 miles on the road bike, and so it works really well. And so I think it's all good stuff. So thank you very much again, Jessica.
Thank you. And I also want to give my thanks for this very comprehensive report that, this all can't come soon enough. And, I will say that as someone who traveled to Washington, D.C. with Councilmember Buckley Weber, not only is this just so exciting from a recreational and a just a joy to have in our city, but this also ties very, very well into our climate goals of getting people out of their cars and onto their bikes. I definitely want to, when the time comes, talk about the bollards versus the landscaping. My big concern for Canaan and T.O. Boulevard is just that if someone fell, we want to make sure they don't fall into traffic. If someone's texting, we want to make sure they don't weave into a bicycle lane. So, to me, to Councilmember Sylvester's point, might be safer. We're definitely interested in learning the options of what is there, because obviously our biggest concern is about safety. And if it is safe, or when it is safe, it's going to be great to see kids riding bikes to school and really, really making an impact on our main thoroughfares. So very excited for this, and you can leave it to us. And we got a little dream team going here to get some money to the city. We will make it happen for you. We will go and we will lobby and we will get the funding, because there's a lot of funding to be had, particularly with some of the federal monies that have just been approved for infrastructure and climate goals. So very excited for this to move forward, and you let us know if you need additional direction from us or if you have what you need.
I think that that's what I need for tonight. If there's anything over the coming weeks and months that occurs to you that you'd like us to look at, I mean, we have this opportunity now to really hone this plan into something great. So please don't hold back if you have any more feedback, or if you talk to a friend after tonight and they have feedback for us.
Great, thank you. And I don't know that we need any formal action here. I think staff has what they need. Okay. Then with that, we will move on to staff comments. Are there any staff comments? Okay, any council comments? Councilmember Buckley Weber?
Yeah, I just want to thank the mayor, because you did come into the city council and now we've won these awards. I don't really know what they mean, but we won them. I like awards. Whatever it says. But anyways, congratulations. I know that this was a big campaign promise of yours, and that you really wanted to get out there and make sure that we cleaned up our communications. And we've done a great job, and I know I'm seeing a lot of postings, and it's very exciting. So congratulations. Good job.
Thank you.
I think Councilmember Weber, you're going to report on our school committee, what they said about security at the schools?
So
Or has that already been done before?
whenever we report on committees, that's sometimes at the beginning under intergovernmental. So,
Sorry.
yep. Any other council comments? Okay.
I wanted to talk about our trip. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, we went down to the California Cities Conference in Long Beach. And one of the seminars that I attended was on the short-term rentals that was presented by the city of Truckee. And I know one of the things that we're working on or going forward is trying to draft a provision on short-term rental provision. So I just wanted to ask staff and Denise, if you get a chance to maybe connect with the city of Truckee's individuals. I thought some of the provisions that they had put in place were pretty good whenever they presented on it. So I just wanted to throw that comment out there to you. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is obviously the housing issues continue to be something that's an issue. And I look forward to working with our federal and state leaders to address all the housing needs. I was disappointed earlier this year that I wasn't able to attend meetings that actually the mayor mentioned earlier, the federal meetings in DC, because I actually came down with COVID the day before we were supposed to leave. But I look forward to working with those federal and state leaders going forward to solve a lot of those issues, in addition to some of the issues that we talked about with the biking and all the other funding going forward. So those were my comments. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm very excited for Reyes Adobe Days. I think that will be coming before our next meeting. So I just want to once again thank our Community Services Department. So happy that we're back to a full schedule. Excited to see the seniors tomorrow. And, we'll see you at the park and hope to see everyone there. So with that, I will announce that the next regular City Council meeting is scheduled for 6 p.m. on Wednesday, October 12th, 2022, in the Council Chambers of the Civic Center. It is anticipated that members of the public will have the opportunity to participate in person in the Council Chambers or by remote video conferencing via Zoom. So at this time, we will adjourn tonight's meeting, and I will ask for a motion and a second, and please state your names.
I'll move that we adjourn the meeting.
I will second, Councilmember Sylvester.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, and so I will defer to our city clerk for a roll call vote.
Councilmember Buckley Weber? Aye. Councilmember Sylvester?
Aye.
Councilmember Weber?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Anstead?
Aye.
Mayor Lopez?
Aye.
Mayor Lopez, you have approval 5-0.
Thank you. This meeting is now adjourned.